And if so, how likely it is that we're to see that fight happen again this year?
I'm not sure, bro. I'm definitely not sure, but hopefully we could get it before. Nah, it probably won't be this year.
Is that the one you want next?
It's definitely the one I want next, but it's not gonna be next.
What is?
You might.
We will never see that fight happen again. It just will not happen. Gervonta Tank Davis doesn't like hard fights. It's that simple. We've seen it over and over. He fought a Ryan Garcia drained. He fought a very inexperienced Rolly Romero. He will not fight Devin Haney. He will not fight Shakur. He will not fight Pitbull Cruz again. He will not fight Lamar Roach again. He will not fight Defimo. He will not fight
that he never fought Vasily Lomachenko when the Ukrainian was at his peak, how he sidestepped Devin Haney, and how he didn't seem eager to face Shakur Stevenson. Now, after the most controversial fight of his career, fans are once again making the same claim. This time, it's about Lamont Roach Jr. No one had come close to dethroning Tank.
I'm already contractually
Every opponent he faced was either knocked out or completely dominated. But on the night he fought Lamont Roach Jr., something different happened. For years, no one had come close to dethroning Tank. Every opponent he faced was either knocked out
In his eyes before
you jabbed him.
Before I jabbed him. Even that right hand that, like, you know what I'm saying, that kind of landed. He kind of rolled with it, but after that, you could see him wipe his eye. And then, right after I hit him with the jab,
right after the fight, Davis started hinting that a rematch wouldn't happen anytime soon. In his post-fight interview, his first words were vague. When asked if he would run it back, he dodged the question and instead said Roach wasn't as tough as people thought. Weeks later, as pressure for the rematch grew, he took to social media saying, "We'll see what happens, but right now I've got other things to handle." That was enough for many to believe.
Then going forward, they should just run it back, have a rematch.
Oh, yes, most definitely. I think a rematch is definitely called for. And I think probably, the sooner the better. So
now,
I would say,
with his latest admission,
let's work on a deal
criticism
to where
is
we can
only
get in
growing
there
louder.
within the next.
Once again, people are calling
4 or
him a
5
fighter
months.
who carefully picks his opponents, someone who avoids facing real threats back-to-back. If Roach was able to take Tank to a draw, what happens in a rematch when Roach comes back even better? That's the question fans are asking, and Tank's refusal to commit to the rematch is only adding fuel to the fire. Roach, on the other hand, has been relentless. He has made it clear that he wants the rematch immediately and has called out Tank multiple times. However, Tank's team sees things differently. They even believe that Tank didn't
to pull up, and then they're going to act like, oh, yeah, it's business.
His team even went as far as saying that Davis and his camp are afraid of what might happen in a second fight.
My thing is this, I feel like
that statement alone has only made things worse for Tank because, whether it's true or not, many people actually believe it. Tank has never been in a position where the public was this uncertain about him. He has always been the dominant force, the knockout artist who left no doubt about his victories. But for the first time in his career, fans are questioning him. For the first time, there is real debate about whether he is
Is that the one you want next?
Of course, Tank's fans argue that he has the right to move on if he wants to. They say he is the A-side, the superstar, and that he doesn't owe Roach anything. If Roach really wants the fight, he can wait. That's how boxing works. The biggest names call the shots, and Tank is one of the biggest names in the sport. But even some of his own fans are starting to get frustrated. They want to see him in fights that prove he is the best. They don't want excuses or delays. They want him to settle unfinished business, and the Roach fight is now at the top of that list.
at all that it could get overturned, and what'd you think when they upheld it?
I thought they were, upheld it.
The more Tank talks about his other plans, the more people assume he is ducking Roach. It doesn't help that he still hasn't revealed what he's actually focused on. If it's another big fight, why not announce it? Why keep it a secret? That's what has people suspicious. If he's facing another top opponent, then maybe he has a point. But if it's just another hand-picked fighter, the criticism will only get worse. Fans have been waiting for years to see him take on the best, and now, with a real challenger. Right in front of him, he seems to be backing away. Whether it's strategy, ego, or fear, only Tank knows the real reason.
Him say that we won't be able to see the rematch in 2025, and we're
even
still
though
in the
Tank
first
has
quarter,
the final say on whether the rematch with Lamont
right? So
Roach Jr. happens, not everyone in
anticipation
boxing is eager to see it right away. GervontaDavis has made it clear that he has other plans, and those plans don't include watching Tank step into the ring with Roach again anytime soon. Why? Because Keyshawn sees something bigger for himself, and he's not afraid to make it.
So when you got a rematch clause, how long we take it?
It's up to the A side and when they want to fight. So I'm thinking it's gonna be soon. I'm hoping it's gonna be soon.
Fresh off his dominant win over Dennis Barrett, GervontaDavis is holding on to the WBO lightweight title and setting his sights on the biggest names in the division. But his vision isn't just about chasing belts. It's about controlling the narrative. That's exactly why he's now talking. About facing Lamont Roach Jr. himself. This isn't just about making a big fight. It's about positioning himself as the true future of the lightweight division. The timing couldn't be better. The controversy surrounding the first Davis-Roach fight has left a bitter taste in fans' mouths, with many still believing Roach deserved to win outright. A fight between Roach and Keyshawn
negotiations for the rematch. While he didn't give too many details, Jonas did say that the second bout between Davis and Roach Jr. is all but finalized. Let's hear what he got to say right now.
Important question on everyone's mind: how close is the rematch? How big will it be? How close is it to getting done?
Interest in fighting Roach is more than just talk. During an interview on the Danza Project, he made it clear that he sees their matchup as the most exciting fight in the division. Me and Lamont Roach, stylistically, is the hottest fight in the weight division for sure, he said, giving Roach credit for the performance that earned him so much respect. But respect doesn't mean hesitation. Tank does. What does that mean for the rematch? If Roach loses, Tank suddenly has the perfect excuse to move on, claiming Roach was never that good in the first place.
I think that just gives him more motivation to go out there, do the rematch, and as well, the people want to see it. You know, that kind of gives it the controversial, look into it. It makes it more intriguing to everybody and want to watch the second fight.
All right, what happens in the second fight? Same fight, or what do you think?
No, I think Lamont's going to push more, but I think that even gives Tank a little bit more.
If Roach wins, the rematch becomes even bigger.
Maybe even finish the job.
But now Keyshawn, Davis has inserted himself as a major player, and Tank has to deal with both of them. Either way, this isn't just about one fight anymore. It's about how the entire division shakes out. Eddie Hearn has already made it clear that if the rematch happens, it will be a much bigger event than the first fight. Now Davis has got a rematch that's actually much bigger than the first fight, Hearn said during a March 27th
the hardest puncher in the division, right? Ooh. So put him up against me. I'm not going nowhere.
But Roach is a good fighter.
We're gonna fight.
It won't be easy.
That's one of the
That's
best
the part people keep overlooking.
It's gonna be a lot
Tank
of
didn't dominate Roach. He didn't cruise to an easy win. He struggled. And for a fighter with Tank's reputation, that's a serious problem. The controversy surrounding the first fight isn't going away anytime soon. The moment Tank delivered that illegal knee to Roach, everything changed. That moment should have cost him the fight. If the referee had made the correct call, Tank would have taken his first official loss as a pro. Instead, he got away with it, and the fight was scored a draw. The backlash was immediate. Fans called it a robbery, analysts pointed out that Tank should have been disqualified, and even Roach's team knew they had been cheated out of what should have been a career-defining win. The fact that Tank wasn't punished for the knee, or for the self-imposed timeout he took right after, only made things worse. However, some still believe that Tank was simply not focused. Interview Zeximoti X Twainus, Bob. Aram didn't hold back when sharing his thoughts on the rematch. And for someone like Aram, who has been involved in boxing longer than most fighters have been alive, to call out Tank's performance so directly, it says a lot. I thought Roach won the fight. It was a close fight, Aram told Shanzel on March 28th. But then he took it a step further, questioning Tank's overall commitment to boxing. I think Davis has to start taking boxing seriously. You know, it's not just a media kind of thing. I don't know the kid, but he seems sort of ordinary. That last statement hit hard, calling a fighter
fight. I mean, he should have had a point deducted. There's no doubt about that. But two, people criticised the Roach fight. I knew it would be a good fight because we know Roach is a good fighter, but people in boxing know that Roach is a good fighter. Now it's giving him another fight. Because if he would have beaten Roach, he's kind of backed in a corner to fight
Tank
Shakur
didn't
Stevenson,
look
I
like
think.
himself that night.
But now he's got a rematch that's actually much bigger than the first fight.
He wasn't dominant.
So yeah, I think
and he
he'll be
definitely wasn't the same knockout artist fans have come to expect. If he had been performing at his usual level, that illegal knee wouldn't have even mattered. He would have been so far ahead on the scorecards that one bad moment wouldn't have changed anything. But that wasn't the case. The fight was even. Roach gave as much as he got, and now, whether Tank wants to admit it or not, people are starting to question if he's really as great as they once thought.
Overall, like the bigger picture, he just wasn't focused for real. He, doing a lot of arguing in the ring and just a lot of stuff that wasn't like, he wasn't just focused. He wasn't all the way locked into the ring. You heard him say something like,
The issue now is that Tank doesn't seem eager to run it back. If he was confident in a rematch, he would have already announced it. Instead, all fans are getting are vague statements and delays. Meanwhile, Roach is pushing hard for another chance, and GervontaDavis is trying to jump into the mix before Tank even makes a move. If Roach ends up fighting Gervonta first, and Gervonta wins, Tank's entire legacy takes a hit. No matter what happens after that, people will say it wasn't Tank who ended Roach's momentum, but another.
Anything else from Lamont?
Yo, last question. I just want to know, how has your life changed since the fight, man? Obviously we follow each other on social media. I see your followers went up, all of the other stuff kind of going up. How has things changed for you since the fight has happened?
Bro, literally
years,
overnight.
Tank was
it
seen
changed,
as
like,
untouchable.
I ain't gonna lie, I got walking around with security.
Now he looks
like,
vulnerable.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
and the worst
I walk
part
around my
is,
people.
it's not just because of his performance in the fight, but because of his actions after it. Boxing fans respect fighters who take on all challenges, who don't hesitate to prove themselves. Right now, Tank isn't giving them that. He's giving them uncertainty. And in boxing, uncertainty is the one thing that can turn fans against you faster than anything else.
Let me know now. Do you want to fight Tank again? He said he open to do a rematch. Do you want to fight Tank
100%. It's only a matter of time. We're gonna fight. We're gonna fight again. It's just whenever the fight gonna happen.
So it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
Okay. They say they want it in New York again. Do you want to fight again?
That performance, From Gervonta Tank, Davis has people talking in ways his camp won't like. Paulie Malignaggi, never one to hold back, just added fuel to the fire. He didn't just say Tank had a bad night. He basically called him mentally soft, claiming his whole career has been carefully managed and that the people around him know it. That's not something you can just brush off, especially coming from someone who has been in championship rematches and knows what real mental toughness looks like.
Tank's entire legacy takes a hit, because then, no matter what, people will say Tank wasn't the one who ended Roach's momentum. It was another fighter who